What if I told you that executive women over 40 face double the Alzheimer's risk and AI might be your best defense? The real power isn't in the technology, but in how it preserves your brain health. Here's what you're going to learn today. 3 research-backed strategies that transform AI from a source of overwhelm into your most powerful cognitive preservation tool. I will show you exactly how to leverage AI to amplify your strategic thinking while protecting your brain during the most vulnerable years of your career and also the most valuable years of your career. I'm Dr. Jennifer Churchill, and I've spent 20 years as a psychologist and executive coach working with VP to C-level women. And after completing Callan Faulkner's AI coaching programs this year, I discovered something game-changing. AI isn't only about efficiency. It's also about cognitive preservation for women navigating perimenopause and beyond. So let me show you what's possible. My client Bonnie was launching her consulting business this year and feeling pretty overwhelmed by all the market research and positioning work ahead of her. She found herself feeling very stuck, staring at a blank screen for hours, not really sure where to start. And after helping her understand how to use AI strategically, she identified her ideal client profile, researched competitive landscapes, and analyzed pain points, and then created a wireframe for her landing page, all in minutes instead of weeks, and gave her clarity and confidence to launch her dream consulting business faster and with less stress. But here's the key. She used her executive insight and strategic thinking to guide the AI and not allow AI to replace it. I will provide her in-depth transformation and her success story later in this episode, so stay tuned for that. You will not want to miss it. But before we dive into the strategies and her story, here's what most people do get wrong about AI. They think using it is somehow cheating in some instances, or that it creates less original work. And in some cases, people are concerned about it actually affecting their ability to be strategic thinking and keep their brain sharp. But the reality is the opposite. When leveraged strategically, AI helps you create more meaningful and original work that reflects your highest level of strategic thinking. But here's the critical issue for executive women. We are facing a perfect storm. You are hitting your career prime while your brain is undergoing significant hormonal changes, which make focus, memory, strategic clarity harder to access. You've probably felt it, forgetting details mid-presentation or struggling to connect the dots as fast as you used to. It's because estrogen decline during perimenopause affects memory, focus, and strategic thinking, the exact skills that got you to your current level. Meanwhile, there's a way AI can either accelerate your cognitive decline or actually strengthen your brain. The landmark MIT study shows that passive AI consumption, just accepting whatever it gives you, weakens the neural pathways responsible for executive function. But strategic AI engagement does the opposite. As you watch this, ask yourself, in your last big decision, did you gather input, then make the final call based on your executive judgment? That's exactly the skill that makes AI powerful for you. After integrating 20 years of psychology training with cutting-edge AI research, I've identified 3 strategies that help executive women use AI to strengthen their cognitive health. But before I dive into these 3 strategies, let me set expectations for how we're going to structure this. I'm going to give you a strategic overview of each approach so you understand the brain science behind why they work. Then I will walk you through a detailed real-world case study with one of my clients, showing you exactly how she implemented all 3 strategies to transform her business results and her cognitive performance. This way, you'll get both the why and the how, the research foundation, plus the practical application that you can model in your own work. So the first strategy is strategic cognitive engagement over passive consumption. The landmark MIT study that I've already referenced shows that passive AI use, just asking for answers and copy pasting, actually weakens the neural pathways, which are responsible for executive function. the CEO of your brain. And users showed decreased brainwave activity, meaning they bypass the deep thinking processes that keep our brains sharp. But strategic engagement strengthens your prefrontal cortex networks. Instead of asking, write me a strategy document, you prompt something a little bit more in depth with more instructions like, help me analyze the 3 highest impact variables affecting our Q4 performance. Then I will synthesize these into strategic priorities based on my team's capabilities. You're enhancing your strategic thinking, not replacing it. The second strategy is deliberate executive function training through the AI interaction. Every AI interaction should engage 3 cognitive components: your working memory, which is holding multiple variables in mind; your cognitive flexibility, which is considering different approaches simultaneously; and inhibitory control, which is deciding what AI should handle versus what requires your judgment. This mirrors what neuroscientists call compensatory processing. Say that 3 times fast. Which is deliberately recruiting additional cognitive processes to maintain peak performance despite age-related changes. So for women in perimenopause, whose executive function may be compromised by hormonal changes, this becomes critical cognitive strength training. Just like you would strength train your muscles, we need to strength train our brains. The third strategy is neuroplasticity activation through novelty and challenge. Brain plasticity research confirms that challenging cognitive activities that activate working memory, reasoning, and strategic thinking build cognitive reserve, which is your brain's ability to maintain function despite aging. And strategic AI use provides endless novelty and cognitive challenge. Each complex prompt requires metacognitive thinking about thinking itself. You're constantly analyzing, synthesizing, and making strategic decisions. And studies show this type of strategic synthesis increases blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, and it strengthens neural connectivity. You're literally building a stronger brain while increasing business effectiveness. All right, now let's look at all 3 strategies in action. And I want you to keep in mind, I'm giving you details around Bonnie's experience so you can hear how much depth we put into this AI engagement strategy to preserve your brain health. So kind of be doing some meta reflection of your own right now in terms of how this might apply to your own role and your organization or your own business. So let's look at strategy 1 in action. And this is really giving AI rich context setting. So Bonnie started by giving AI a specific expert role. She basically said, you are a global nonprofit funding strategist with deep expertise in both individual donor cultivation and institutional funding. Here's the current landscape of the industry. Nonprofit organizations are facing increased competition for donor dollars. Corporate giving has shifted towards measurable impact initiatives, and traditional foundation funding has become more restrictive. And individual fundraisers are under pressure to deliver results with fewer resources and less training support from their organizations. She then provided her specific context. I have 15 years of experience leading development teams at major nonprofits, consistently achieving 30 to 40% above industry average in fundraising results through relationship-based approaches that builds long-term donor loyalty. The second strategy in action, where she basically did some executive function training. So next, she instructed AI to challenge her strategic thinking and stated to her AI, based on this industry landscape and my background, ask me 3 critical strategic questions about my target market, competitive positioning, and delivery model that will help me identify the most important decisions I need to make for my business launch. So this engaged all 3 thinking abilities. She had to hold multiple business variables in mind: local versus global markets, service versus product delivery, and individual versus organizational clients. And then she had to consider different strategic approaches and determine which decisions required her deep not-for-profit expertise versus areas where AI could provide market research support. And now the third strategy in action: complex strategic synthesis. She gave her comprehensive strategic prompt to her AI, which included, given my proven track record of consistently exceeding fundraising goals through relationship-based methods, the current funding challenges facing the nonprofit sector, my location in a high net worth geographic area, and my goal to help fundraisers build skills that actually work in today's environment, help me analyze 3 potential business models. And then she inputted these. First, the local in-person intensive training programs leveraging my affluent market, scalable digital products, and online courses for global reach, and a hybrid approach combining local high-touch services with digital scalability. For each model, consider the revenue potential, scalability, my time investment, competitive advantages based on my proven methods, and alignment with the urgent needs of struggling fundraisers. Help me think through the strategic implications of each approach. So this prompt required Bonnie to synthesize her years of nonprofit experience, current market reality, her personal goals, and multiple business model variables. Exactly the kind of complex strategic thinking that strengthens executive cognitive abilities. And I was just floored. Her results were remarkable. In one focused strategic session, she had a clear competitive analysis, identified her unique value proposition based on her proven results, and she mapped out 3 viable business models with pros and cons and determined her go-to market strategy. What typically takes business consultants weeks of research and analysis was compressed into one strategic thinking session. But here's what matters most for her brain health. Bonnie reported feeling mentally energized and more confident in her strategic decision-making abilities. She wasn't just getting faster business results. She was actively strengthening the executive thinking skills that built her successful nonprofit career. So here's why this matters urgently for executive women. The estimated lifetime risk for Alzheimer's disease for a 45 to 55-year-old woman is approximately 1 in 5, which is 20%, compared to 1 in 10, which is 10% for a man of the same age. We are facing double the risk, and women make up 65% of people who currently struggle with dementia. This isn't just about aging. Estrogen has a protective effect on the brain, and the loss of this protection during perimenopause and menopause may explain why females with Alzheimer's outnumber males. Now, here's the critical connection. Passive AI consumption creates what researchers call cognitive offloading. And your brain says, great, I don't need to work as hard anymore. But for women already facing 50% higher risk of Alzheimer's due to hormonal changes, passive AI use could compound that vulnerability. But strategic AI engagement does the opposite. By requiring analysis, synthesis, and decision-making in every interaction, you're doing mental strength training. And in my work with Prickly Pear, which is an AI-driven health platform for women, we are seeing how intentional AI engagement builds what we call cognitive reserve, your brain's ability to stay strong despite changes. And for executive women in midlife, this isn't just about staying competitive. It's about thriving mentally for decades to come and preserving those memories that you made with your kids that you can then go and share with your grandchildren one day. We have to be smarter about how we engage with technology because our brain health absolutely depends on it. So if you're ready to transform AI from threat to cognitive enhancement tool, I have 3 opportunities for you. First, try these brain-preserving strategies this week. Pick one business challenge and engage AI as a strategic thinking partner. Use that executive judgment that got you where you are and gather that AI input, then make the final strategic decisions based on your executive insights and judgment. And notice how different this feels from passive consumption. And if you can already think of an idea that you could practice right now, drop it in the comments below. Share with me what resonated here with this episode based on how you're already using AI. What are your questions about AI? And, what are your concerns about it? And secondly, I want you to know about incredible opportunities with my own AI coach and mentor, Callan Faulkner. She's hosting both a masterclass and a bootcamp this fall, sharing her latest AI strategies. These are a rare chance to learn from one of the top AI strategists in the world. The links are in the description below, and make sure you register because they do fill up quickly. And finally, If you're serious about developing next level performance with faith forward strategy and AI powered coaching designed just for executive women navigating midlife, Salt and Ember might be for you. It's my exclusive mastermind where we integrate cutting edge AI strategies with unique cognitive and physiological challenges facing women leaders in perimenopause and beyond, all while keeping God as our CEO. The future belongs to women who can think with AI while preserving their cognitive edge. Whether you start with Callan's foundational trainings or dive into the brain health integration I offer, just start now. Your career, success, and long-term brain health depend on it.